Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Rimuru X Harem, Regret and Returning into the Past. By peaches0531. Chapter 12. There's been a slight changes in this timeline. Without the enraged Phobio that wants to get revenge on Milam, Footman and Tear didn't get to meet them in the woods and manipulate Phobio to pursue and merge with the core of Charybdis. So Seal made lesser body duplicates to merge with the Charybdis core, but she also split the core and adding a little bit of null energy to not weaken it. After that it's time to merge the two lesser duplicates which Seal is controlling. The two awakened Charybdis each are as strong as in the last timeline, and I have plans for the cores. That's why after defeating it I'll suck in the two lesser clones and separate the cores and secure it in my imaginary space. I'm only after the spoils of war. We got more subordinates now, thus it's beneficial to have more scales for weapons and shields, mostly for the high orcs. I can easily make any materials or high-class weapons, but where's the fun in that? It will also be a big lesson for my subordinates to know true power. Seal didn't recommend to power them up now, so that they will experience a one-sided battle with an overwhelming defeat. So after I power them up after the invasion of Falmouth, they will cherish it more and do their best to improve. That's a really good idea by Seal, so they won't be too blinded by power and get too overconfident, and it will also teach them to not rely on me all the time and will stand up for themselves. After a while Rimuru was back in his office waiting for the trigger, having a big smile on his face while signing papers. After a while, bang! Both sides of the doors open. Rimuru-sama, there's a big emergency. Rigard was catching for air while rushing inside the office. Umo. What is it, Rigard? Rimuru answered like it's normal. There's a dryad in the town's square and is warning us about an incoming calamity. You better go there now, Rimuru-sam. Rigard while panicking. What? Calamity? Let's go. Rimuru rushed towards Rigard and used spatial teleportation. I am the dryad Tria, Trainee's younger sister, she said while emitting an unstable aura. I came here to warn you, Rimuru. Tempest a Charybdis has been awakened, said Tria. What? Charybdis? Said Rimuru in a slightly panicked voice. My other two sisters are trying to confront the coming calamities but can barely even scratch it, said Tria with a disappointed voice. Even Trainee-san couldn't scratch it. How is that possible? Answered Rimuru. The executives and the trio along with Fuse and Yum got shocked. For the first time saw Rimuru looking scared and shaking a little, and then Rimuru decided to bring the plan on how to deal with Charybdis in the meeting room. Inside the meeting room, Tria continued to explain how Charybdis was born like into the past timeline. After that, how? One calamity class that is way stronger than the orc disaster is already a threat. What are we gonna do that there's two along with 26 megalodons? Said Rimuru while looking down the table with a dark and shaded face. Rimuru-sama, the executives said worriedly and have low morale, saying their leader scared. Should we evacuate? I mean, they're made out from Veldora's cloud of magicules. Wouldn't that make them have some of his powers? Answered Rimuru while lowering his head with both hands on his forehead. The meeting room got silent for about a minute and then, we will do our best to protect this town that Rimuru-sama founded. He gave us a new home and helped us during our difficult times. Now it's our time to protect Rimuru-sam. They all said while having the same motives and determined faces. It's okay, Rimuru-san, we will do our best to protect the town. This is our home also, said Shizu while hugging Rimuru. Wahahaha. Don't forget, Rimuru, I'll help defeat those weak Charybdis. I'm a demon lord after all, Noda, said Milam proudly. We will do our best, said Seal, giving the executives an assuring smile. Yes. For Tempest and Rimuru-sama, they all shouted in unison. After that they plan out for the counter-attack to intercept the two Charybdis, while Rimuru just kept quiet and let the executives plan it out. There are no proper militia teams for now. So they decided to divide the high orcs into 4 groups with 1 orc general each team and Geld the superior, future yellow, blue numbers. The dragon newts will be divided into 3 teams. Leading each team are Gabiru's close subordinates consisting of 500 each with Gabiru as the superior. The goblin riders under Hakuro and Benimaru, Mayano, Shion, Ranga, Raiga, and the espionage team under Sue will act as 1 team. Vesta will contact King Gazel through the Orb of Communication to inform him about the situation and will send Pegasus Knights to assist the battle with him personally leading. Shuna, Rigard, Kaijin with the dwarf brothers and the trio along with Fuse and Yum will help calm and manage the citizens. Rimuru along with Seal, Shizu and Milam will be the ones to lead the attack and weaken the two Charybdis. After the preparations they are now heading towards the location. Time before Tria appeared. "What is it, Rimuru-san?" asked Shizu while walking into the office. "You called Rimuru as their new food that you wanted me to taste," said Milam while drooling. "I actually called you two here for something really fun," answered Rimuru while smiling. "Fun?" Shizu while tilting her head sidewards. "Wahahaha. If Rimuru said so I know it will be fun as expected of my bestie," said Milam while eating some corn cakes. And then Rimuru told them about Charybdis and his plans. They are going to lead the way and give all-out attacks before the attacks could hit the Charybdis. Seal will then cast barriers without the others knowing. After the explosion and with a ton of cloud dust covering the air, the two Charybdis will fire lasers into their directions and they will pretend that they got killed in action, but actually they will be teleported into Rimuru's imaginary space and monitor the battle. After arriving in the location, Milam Shizu-san will take the right one, me and Seal will take the one on the left, the others will be in charge of dealing with the 26 megalodons, said Rimuru. It was rather easy for them to kill the 26 megalodons like in the past timeline, with now that Tempest has greater numbers. Rimuru and the other three are just waiting and watching. While the others are killing the megalodons in a fast phase, Seal from time to time lets the Charybdises release some flying scales that can easily be avoided by them. After they've disposed all of the megalodons, it's time to play the part Rimuru like in the plan attacks with powerful magic along with Milam, Shizu and Seal, and dust clouds cover the whole battlefield. All of Tempest's and King Gazel's men that just arrived saw the attacks and they all started to cheer loudly, thinking that it was over just like that. After the dust clouds started to clear up, showing the Charybdises without a scratch, and then fired after a flash fired lasers towards them. What they saw was Rimuru along with Shizu, Milam and Seal received the attack head on to protect them. All they could see was Rimuru smiling looking at them, while started to fade after that they never see any traces of the four. "Rimuru-sama!" They all shouted in unison. The first to attack was Shion, crying along with Ranga. They charge into one of the Charybdis. Die! 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 Shion was furious, slashing strikes until her sword snapped into two. She didn't stop, she used her bare hands and started punching. Saying this, the others started charging in without a care if they die, seeing how they got protected by their beloved Rimuru-sama and the others earlier. It's been several hours but they couldn't even kill one. Instead of being hopeless, they all showed undying will. In the imaginary space, seeing the battle's progress made Rimuru happy. It's been hours now and it's almost sunset. Seal cast an illusion barrier in the whole forest so all the eyes from outside that are monitoring the battle won't get any information from us. Less than yes, master, I have already casted illusions giving them the same view like in the past timeline. The demon lord Milam was the one defeated Charybdis greater than. That's Seal for you, always ahead of everything, even made it better. Yush. It's time, said Rimuru while smiling. On the battlefield they wear different types of emotions: anger, revenge, desire for power. Instead of losing morale and give up, they stayed on their grounds. All of them are exhausted and have given it their all, even King Gazel and his men. If it wasn't for Rimuru earlier they could all have died. As they are all looking up above, seeing the two Charybdises charging two lasers to be fired at them instead of fleeing, all you can see on their faces was the rage they had towards the enemy. One by one they closed their eyes and waited to get the attack head on. All of you, the ones that are bearing harm to my precious subordinates, will be erased from the face of this world. Silver blue hair, golden eyes that can see through anything with a perfect defined facial features. You can say that the spectacle was a god descending from heaven, engulfed with an overwhelming godly aura. Armageddon. Pillars of lights piercing from the skies and hits the Charybdises without leaving any single trace. All of them witness overwhelming power, including the Dwargon army. Only one thing came out from their mouths with wide open eyes: God has descended.